Hello, I've had my Tesla Model 3 for over 4 years, so I'm going to give you the 5 best and worst things about owning one. So if you're thinking of buying one or have one and want to compare notes, if you agree with me or not, or you never intend to get one and wouldn't touch one with a barge pole, even if you were given one, please stay tuned and leave a comment down below. I've been driving for 55 years, from the RAF heavy loading equipment on the airfield, minis, lorries, coaches, company cars, escorts, Lagunas, Vectras and many more. Hello folks, I'm Nigel. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you can consider subscribing. It's free and certainly helps the channel, and it would be very much appreciated. So let's start with the best things about the Tesla and then later go on to the worst things, so please stick around. Some comments say I'm fair and balanced, while others say I'm biased towards Tesla. So if you're watching for the first time, I'll let you be the judge and jury. So the 5th best thing about owning a Tesla is no emissions. Some people will say it should be higher up the list, and maybe in 20 years time many people will agree with you, as the planet's climate changes and millions of more people will be heading for Europe and the US from the poor countries, and 100 times more than are coming now. In 20 years time it could be considered the best thing about owning a Tesla or an electric car. The 4th best thing about owning a Tesla, it's very aerodynamic. It makes it very economical with electricity. It looks great and definitely the best looking car I've ever owned. As a young man, I could never afford an MG as I was married with family. I didn't envy single men, as I had 2 young sons and a rusty old sensible family car. But I did kind of envy them driving a small MG sports car, which was very nice. I eventually bought a 10-year-old MG TF in 2015. It was one of the last ones ever built in Abingdon, UK. And every morning seeing it on my drive, it made me smile. And I feel the same way about my Tesla. 3rd best thing about owning a Tesla is the price of charging at home, especially in the early hours of the morning at 6p a kilowatt hour, making it almost 1/10 of the price of petrol and diesel. Some people will say this is the best thing, and they've got a good point. Also, charging at Tesla superchargers is much cheaper than petrol and diesel, between 50 and 40% cheaper, and a quarter of the price of diesel if you go before 8 in the morning and late at night, or in the early hours to Tesla superchargers. The 2nd best thing about owning a Tesla is the Tesla supercharger network, and some will say it should be first, and they've got a point. It's amazing, just reverse in, plug in with no card or app needed. I often wonder why no other car makers, all much bigger than Tesla, haven't done the same thing, making it so easy. But they have to make it so complicated with apps and cars. None of them want the electric car to succeed, so want charging to be difficult and very expensive.
You haven't been screwing the salesman up. Well, have you?
So number 1, the best thing about owning a Tesla, in number 1 position, is the driving experience. It's quiet, it's fast, it's clean, better than any other car I've ever driven. I'm not selling, no matter what Elon Musk says or does. I haven't driven many electric cars, in fact very few, but compared to hundreds of cars, the Tesla is just in a world of its own as far as I am concerned. So let's start with the worst thing about owning a Tesla, and in 5th position is people telling you what's wrong with Teslas. People who've never owned one or driven one, but can tell you in great detail what's wrong with them, because they've watched YouTube videos or a mate told them what's wrong with them. And the lie that the electricity is powered by coal, they depreciate more than any other car, regularly burst into flames, all untrue and unproven lies. Fourth worst thing about owning a Tesla is the purchase price. I don't regret buying mine in 2021. It was the only new car I'd ever purchased. I used to buy cars between 3 and 10 years old, except when I had new company cars, which was very nice, but I did do a lot of miles, sometimes over 1,000 miles a week, and definitely 50 to 60,000 miles in a year. It's not a cheap car, but a used Tesla is great value, and if I was buying one now, I would probably buy a used one. Other EV prices are coming down and reducing, and to be honest, now there are examples of electric cars and no more expensive than gas cars. The third worst thing about owning a Tesla is opening the glove box compartment. It's not a game changer, but sometimes it takes longer than just pressing a button. Now, I admit I'm the first person to moan at car reviewers demanding more buttons all over the place. A simple press button on the glove compartment would be quite a nice thing. True, the Model Y has better access. I think it's described as a crossover rather than a hatchback, but I'm not currently buying a new Tesla. My 4.5-year-old one is doing fine, and I want to get as much value out of it as I possibly can because it was quite an expensive car. Okay, so the worst thing about owning a Tesla is it's too big. And I love driving it, and it's great on road trips, especially if you're going any long distance down to Portugal or across the UK, Scotland, England. And for years, Elon Musk was promising a smaller one. A bit like the Roadster never appeared. So I'm including Tesla promises with the car is too big. Now, lots of people get very excited every few years, saying, oh, the Model 2 or whatever it's called is coming out soon, but it never does. The closest they ever came to it was a cheaper Model 3, £2,000, with a few cuts, but it was the same size with a few more of the basic features. So that's it. That's my 5 best, my 5 worst. Please let me know. You'll probably disagree. Hope you can consider subscribing. It's free, and a like. That would be fantastic. Doesn't cost anything. Thank you very much for watching, and drive safely, and I'll see you soon.